It's been a few years ago. Um, at our home, we sometimes, or I sometimes, park behind our house, and I'm good long as the ground is stable. But one particular time it rained, and I wanted to move a vehicle. And I figured, you know how men are sometimes. I just figured I would be able to drive this vehicle fast enough to get off that property without getting stuck. But little to my surprise, as I took off, the next thing you know, the tires started spinning, and I found myself stuck, and I couldn't get the vehicle out. Stuck, tires rolling, and here is the catch. I'm inside trying to push. Like me pushing like that gonna make the vehicle go. And all I could do was sit there until I got some help. You know, sometimes in life, we find ourselves stuck. Have y'all ever been stuck before? Just stuck in a rut, in a moment, in all kinds of situations. Matter of fact, if I was to ask you, what kind of places have you been stuck in, what would you say? I'm scared to say it, huh? Well, some people have been stuck on a job. Some has been in a relationship. I mean, y'all know the word now, toxic. You know, relationships where you no longer have the strength, the energy. Some of us get stuck in thought. You know, y'all ever been like that before? That's called rumination. Okay. Rumination means loop of thought. It's like, I've said it before, it's like being on your cell phone and you got this one song you like so much and you hit the little button and it gives up a little circle around that song and it keeps on looping over and over and over. And though you smiling on the inside, you stuck in mind, in thoughts. Some of us may be in issues from the past. Some of us may be dealing with fears. It could be all over the place. So many different things that we can be stuck with. But there is a way of getting from a stuck place. Look at somebody and ask them, are you stuck? Look at somebody else and ask them, are you stuck? You say, I don't know yet. I don't feel like it. Well, let me help you out. Because when we're stuck, it can leave us feeling frustrated. It can leave us. Let me tell you something. I don't care how much Bible you know. You can know it from the front to the back. You can be the best preacher in the world and still find yourself stuck, distressed, and annoyed, forcing yourself to smile. See, because y'all, we talk a good game, but sometimes we got so much stuff going on. I've learned how to go through the motions. But the truth of the matter is, I feel helpless. I feel powerless. I'm impotent, weak, feeble. I just don't know what to do. I'm stuck singing. I'm stuck preaching. I'm stuck ushering. I'm stuck driving the van. I'm stuck going to work. I'm stuck in the marriage. I'm stuck raising these children. I'm tired. Lord have mercy. Feeling like there's no hope. Have y'all ever felt like you were inadequate? Talk to me. Am I in the right house? Yeah, and the next thing you know, when you start feeling like that, you feel incompetent. Next thing you know, you get down on yourself. And see, it's one thing when you hear the word reject, that means that somebody outside of you is not in agreement with you. But when you hear the word deject, that means on the inside, you ain't even agreeing with yourself. You got to fight in your own soul. And it's one thing for people to see you one way, but how do you see yourself? Help me here. And I'm telling you, I've been doing this a long time, and there's been times I done preached and folks was happy, I was sad. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me here. There was times I preached and people were happy, but I was depressed. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk to me here. There was times that I preached and people shouted about how good it was, and I went home desperate, hoping that God would hear my cry. Oh, help me here. And so sometimes we can find ourselves stuck, and we have to be careful that we don't get stuck too long. Look at somebody, tell them, don't stay there too long. Don't stay there too long, because the problem is what happens is once you find yourself stuck in distress, in depression, in dejection sets in, the next thing you know, you stop growing. The next thing you know, you ain't got no joy. Oh, hello, somebody. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you ain't got no joy, when you don't have no laughter, you don't feel safe. I just learned a few weeks ago that people who are safe don't mind laughing. That's why people, ha, 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 ha. I can laugh because I feel all right. I know everything is in control, but when I don't feel safe, I'm crying, I'm worried, I'm discouraged. Because that's why I don't want to discourage these young folk, because we want them to be like us, and they've already found their place. And when you find your place of fulfillment, I don't care what's going on. As long as you are in your water, in your element, you're going to be all right. The problem is when somebody else is trying to put on their armor on your back and you're trying to dress up. David said, my name ain't Saul, my name is David, and I'm not going to dress up in what makes him work. I'm going to dress up in what makes me work. And I've been dressing in God all these days. I'm not going to stop dressing in God and start dressing in man. Lord, help me here. And so, look at somebody, just ask them, are you stuck? Look at them, man. Are you stuck? Are you stuck? Look at somebody else, ask them, are you stuck? Are you stuck? Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Lord, have mercy. If you are, just by chance, if you are, there is hope. Because if anybody can bring you out, God can bring you out. Boy, that makes me happy right there. I've been doing this a long time, and I know if anybody can get you out of between a rock and a hard place, God can do it. Now I feel happy. Y'all pray for me. Somebody shout it out. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Yeah. Won't he do it? Won't he make a way out of no way? Whew, help me here. So David in Psalms 40 pens something to encourage the people of God. You know who David was. David was a king. He was a spiritual leader of Israel. But what I love about it is David didn't let his authority get in the way of his worship. Because sometimes we let what we do get in the way of worshiping God. See, first and foremost, you are a worshiper before you got a title. You are one who should be lifting your hands and opening your mouth and thanking the Lord before you try to do an assignment, because it's the God who you worship who will give you grace to be able to do your assignment even when you don't feel like doing it. David said, before I run around here dancing like a king, I'm going to give God praise. David was a worshiper, a warrior, a poet. The Bible would say a man after God's own heart. Do y'all understand what that means? That means because in the eyes of Israel, David was the second king. But in the eyes of God, he was the first one. Oh, help me here. Because Saul was not his choice, but David was. But Israel couldn't wait because Israel was so busy looking at what was going on around them, they couldn't wait for what God wanted to do. Ain't that like us today? So busy looking at what other folk are doing that we can't wait on the Lord. David. Ooh, help me here. David was a wise man, a poet who had all kinds of great achievements. Matter of fact, if I ask you what was David notable for, what would you say? You said it was a bad sheep, but that's one. But let me go like this. What were the good things that he did? Huh? He's a musician. He killed Goliath. He loved God. So what? He's a shepherd. He played good music, like Brother Joey, Sister Ladara was saying. But watch this. He did all kind of good stuff. He secured the borders in Israel. He conquered Jerusalem when the Jebusites had it. David comes along and said, no, what y'all holding on to belongs to God. Matter of fact, can I take a side note and tell you, some of us would be happy if we realize we don't own nothing, and in the rat race trying to get everything, that we realize that eventually we're going to die, and what we got is going to go to somebody else, so you might as well go and enjoy with where you are right now. Be happy, be thankful, because you own nothing. Not one thing. David was known for all kinds of stuff, uniting Israel, establishing a dynasty, bringing the ark back to Jerusalem, planning for the temple, helping Solomon get ready. He was a courageous leader, but despite all of his achievements, David faced personal challenges. Ooh, help me here. Oh, Lord have mercy. Out of all of the good that he done, he had fights on the inside of himself. Lord have mercy. But here is the good news, because what David is doing with Psalm 40 is using it from his life to encourage Israel, to encourage the people of God. This is how you deal with these issues. Because again, it does not matter what your title is, what your position is. At some point, you are going to deal with some stuff. At some point, you're going to deal with issues on the inside of you. So David said, let me show you how I dealt with it. Because it ain't always pretty. It ain't always easy. I know you look at some of these people and you think it's easy. It ain't always easy. Look at somebody, tell them it ain't always easy. It wasn't always easy for David, because there was a time in David's life, David said, I was stuck. David said, after killing Goliath, I was stuck. After uniting Israel, I was stuck. After building a dynasty, after bringing the ark in, I found myself time and time again stuck. Twinks a rock. Oh, place. Now, we don't know if it was him running from Saul. We don't know if it was him running from Absalom. We don't know what it was. It's all kind of things that went on with David. But for certain, one thing that we do know is that David was acquainted with trouble. He was acquainted with distress. But David says, I learned from my trouble. Is there anybody here that's been learning from your trouble? Oh, help me here. Is there anybody here that's been learning from your own distress? What you've been going through. You're going to learn something when you go through it, and you're going to gain it if you'll listen to what the Lord is saying. David said, I learned, help me here, how to wait. Lord have mercy. Oh, that don't make sense to some of you, right? Let me help you like this. The old folks said, he may not come when you want him. Lord, help me here. But he going to be on time. It just so happened it ain't your time, and it happens to be. David said, not only did I learn how to wait, Lord have mercy. He said, I learned that there's an art to waiting. It's how you wait. Because you got to learn how to wait and keep your mind right. You got to learn how to wait and keep your mouth right. Not complaining and fussing and arguing about how bad it is. David said, I learned how to wait and wait right. I learned not to complain and fuss and argue, but yet put my trust in God, even though I visibly don't see nothing. Have you ever been like that before? That in all you're going through, you don't see no way out. Lord have mercy. But David said, I waited with patience and I trusted in God's timing. And David says, one sure thing I've learned, Lord have mercy, is God's going to hear you. And one sure thing you can rest assured of as a child of God, not only is he going to hear you, he's going to respond. Ooh, help me here. I'm getting happy by my own self. Look at somebody, tell him he's going to respond in his timing. He's going to respond. And if he ain't responding right now, it's something he want me to get out of this. It's something he's doing on the inside of me. He's making me better, making me stronger. And after a while, this butterfly is going to fly. I just got to stay in the cocoon for just a little bit. I got to press up against the walls, because the more I press up, the stronger I become. And the next thing you know, I'm ready to fly like an eagle. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, help me here. And so he says, in all of this, I learned God to deliver you. That's all it is. I'll read it to you. Just like it said in Psalm 41. He said, I waited patiently for who? For the Lord. He said, my hope and expectation was in him. In spite of how difficult it got, in spite of how bad it looked, I waited patiently for who? Help me here. And I perceived and continued to trust in him. I persevered in spite of what I felt. And let me tell you, sometimes you ain't going to feel nothing. I know we shout and we run around in the building and act like we got these doodads over us. Sometimes you ain't going to feel not one thing. You ain't going to feel nothing. You just got to trust him. Woo! You got to be able to trust him when you ain't got no feeling. You can't see no way on the left or the right. You have prayed and prayed and prayed. Well, let me tell you something. Keep praying. Keep on talking to God, because even though you can't see your way, your deliverance is on the way. David said that I waited and I was expecting. He wasn't doing it like I wanted it, but I was expecting. Woo, help me here. I was expecting for him to move. And he says, and he did what? Can I put it in modern day terms? He inclined unto me. God eventually responded to me. He heard my cry. Do you understand? Have y'all ever cried? What made you cry? Lord have mercy. Have y'all ever cried? I mean, have you ever hollered and you got all this stuff going on? What made you cry? Sometimes you can just be in such a deep distress. You're feeling helpless and hopeless. There's so much stuff going on around you, danger and all kinds of stuff, just feeling trapped. I mean, sometimes you can feel like you're in a prison and you ain't even locked up. Lord have mercy. David says, this was a scary place. Lord have mercy. Have y'all ever been, I need to just make sure I'm in the right house. Have you, after all of your Bible studies and Sunday schools and church services and revival meetings and conferences and all these different things, have you ever been in a place that you were not certain about, where you faced certain destruction. It just looked like this time I ain't coming out. Have y'all ever been like that? Or maybe it's just me that just this time, this is scary. It looked like this is the end for me. Let me tell you how David felt. David says, my enemies are celebrating. They'll celebrate me going down. And y'all, let me tell you right now, if you think you ain't got somebody shouting about your demise, then you are mistaken. Some people sitting around waiting for you to fall, but they just don't know you got somebody on your side. David said, my enemies were celebrating my demise. He said, I got noise going on my head, and it's talking to me over and over and over. People are looking at me as if it's my end. My soul is in a uproar. Help me here. He said, this ain't no good place. This is unpleasant. He calls it the muck in the mire. This is a difficult place. It's distressful. And if it ain't enough, after all of this, I'm the king. I'm embarrassed. Woo, that I'm in a place like this because I shouldn't be here. Oh. He says, I'm in this place and I can't extricate myself. I can't get myself out. He said, I'm squirming and I'm trying to get out, but I'm stuck. I'm doing everything I can. I'm reaching and I'm hollering and I'm still. I ain't going higher. I'm going lower. And he says, something happened. God heard my cry. He did for me what I couldn't do for myself. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, listen here. Look at somebody asking me, do you have something going on right now that you don't have the ability to handle? Just look at somebody else. Do you have something going on right now you don't have the ability to handle? You can't do it yourself. That's your muck. That's your mire. That's your thing. David says it's a horrible pit. It's miry clay. But look at verse 2. David said, he brought me what? Up out of that horrible pit. Lord have mercy. Somebody already get ready to come out of that situation. Because the enemy, I'm telling you, I know I wasn't even going to preach this, but the Lord made me do this. I'm getting ready to do something else. Some of you got some stuff going on in the devil, make you think that it's over, but oh, you might well get ready to come out. Lord have mercy. Look at somebody, tell them, get ready to come out. I know you feel like you're sinking, but get ready. Jesus, help me here. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Oh, get ready, get ready. He said, he brought me up out of a horrible pit. Out of what? He says, watch this now. He brought me up out of deep trouble. Lord have mercy. He brought me out of the chaos and the depression, the thing that trapped me. But not only did he bring me out, he set what? You'll catch that. He says, I was in an unstable place. I was in an uncertain place. Oh, Lord have mercy. But he brought, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. He brought me out of that thing and set my upon a what? So let me get this right. I was in between some rock in a hard place, and so the thing that I was in between, he took it and said, that which is causing you trouble, I'm going to make it your firm foundation. Ooh, help me here. Some of you just don't know that thing that was trying to weigh you down, God gonna make you stand on it. He gonna make you stand on it, and he gonna let the world see that what they thought was gonna bring you down, it didn't do nothing but make you better. I feel good. Can I get somebody to say it? It's making me better. It's making me better. Y'all come on here. I know, say it again. It's making me better. It's making me better. Come on, y'all, talk to me here. It's making me better. I know we gotta go, but I got to get it in your psyche. Say, it's making me better. Oh, y'all, just slap high five with somebody and tell them it's making me better. Give somebody a dap and tell them it's making me better. There. Woo! I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It's making me better. He says, he puts my feet on a rock. I got a firm place to stand. But not only, because there was a time I wasn't even able to move in the right direction. I was squirming all over the place. But David said, and he established he established my going. In other words, he changed my plight, my state. He gave me a journey where he made it better than it was. Oh, somebody said one more time, it's getting better, 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 better than the way it was. He gave me stability, David said. He gave me security, a solid foundation, brought me from danger to safety. Lord have mercy. I'm going to say that again. Brought me from danger to safety. Ooh, help me here. But now, watch what he says, because he brings me from danger to safety. Now, because I'm safe, I can have the attitude of a safe person. See, some of y'all don't understand that smiling ain't just something you do alone. It's after you've been through something. You got something to smile about. Because when God brings you out and you look back over your life, you ain't got to wonder about how you got over. I got over because of God. Because if it had been up to me, I'd have dug my own grave. If it had been up to me, I'd have embalmed my own self. If it had been up to me, I'd have wrote my own funeral program. But God saw fit that I could live on and live on and live on. Matter of fact, look at somebody and tell them, live. Y'all say it one more time. Say, live. Matter of fact, if you ain't scared, look at somebody and tell them, I shall live and not die, but declare the works of a living God. Woo! David said he hath put a new song in my not somebody else's mouth. He put it in my mouth. That one situation changed me. And when I got out, I know I didn't get myself out. And since I didn't get myself out, I need to be thanking the one that got me out. Well, I didn't finish telling y'all the story, because what happened when I got stuck out there in the backfield, I had a neighbor by the name of Keith Lieber. God rest his soul. I thank God for his life and everything that he used to do. And when Keith saw me out there, he went and got his side by side, because I was not able to get myself out because I did not have the stability. But he said, hold on, Reb. He said, I got you, Reb. Y'all know Leaper was loud. And he said, I got you, Reb. I believe Brother Ricky was out there. And they went and got that side by side and got changed. And they got on the street, solid foundation. They got on the road. They was all right, but I was not. When they linked up to me, they started pulling it. And next thing you know, that old stuck vehicle was able to ride on, ride on, ride on. Oh, I feel like telling somebody, ride on, ride on, ride on. What I'm trying to tell you is, Leaper is one man, but God is another, and he's able. Look at somebody, tell him he's able. He's able. He can get you out of a stuck place. He can get you out of a bad place. I don't care if your money is funny. He can get you out of a stuck place. I don't care if you're tired, busted, and disgusted. He can get you out of a stuck place. I don't care if you're scared. He can get you out of a stuck place. I don't care if your thoughts are messed up, your mind all over the place, but he can get you you out of a stuck place. I don't care what it is. If you know he's able,